business marketing.
Yeah.
And are you interested in some social areas? Have you ever thought of that? Not yet?
I thought about it,
Okay.
but I didn't really know where to start.
Okay. And why are you here?
I'm an SIS person, so global studies, and I do want to change the world.
Huh? You want to change the world?
I do. I'm pre-law as well.
Okay.
I'd like to do more ideas.
Okay. And do you see yourself changing the world sometime?
Hopefully.
Yeah? Alone or as a group?
As a group.
And you?
I'm also an SIS major, but last spring break I was able to go with a couple students from here in association with Ties to the World to Guatemala, and was able to see some microfinance groups and go to some meetings.
And Ties to the World is an orphanage.
It supports an orphanage. It's we did State of the Hogar, and we were there when they hired an artist, and the kids painted pictures that were going to be put on postcards, notebooks, and to sell to make the Hogar sustainable.
So what is the difference between orphanage in Guatemala that is coming up with income-generating activities to support, to pay the salaries, right? Versus a traditional charity? What is the difference there of a social enterprise versus a charity?
Sustainability.
Sustainability. But a charity is sustainable also. You go to church and you ask people to give money. It's we all support programs. Yes.
It teaches people to be self-sufficient so that they can provide for themselves instead of always having to rely on others.
And in this orphanage, who are our clients, quote unquote? The children or the managers of the orphanage? You're teaching them to be self-sufficient, or you're teaching the teachers to be self-sufficient?
Teachers to be self-sufficient. So
And
they can
there are two types of teachers, right? There is a entrepreneurial teacher, and then there is a teacher, you give me a salary and I'll perform. What is the difference?
entrepreneurial teacher will want to better the whole place and want to make sure that it continues, opposed to a teacher who's just there to teach them, do what they can and do the bottom line to get stuff done.
And those orphans, will they benefit from having an entrepreneurial teacher? Huh? We know entrepreneurial teachers. We have met some in our life. Have we met some non-entrepreneurial teachers? Yes. Disastrous, right?
Not your father either.
Waste of time. So, I would like to ask Nick, what is he doing about entrepreneurial teachers in Africa?
Yeah, well, I guess you're directing us there to, one of the things we're doing, and we have so many, it's hard to know where to start, is promoting the idea of entrepreneurial education at the teacher level. Because in fact, I guess what Martin's alluding to is you can come up with a great idea and say, yeah, you know, this is an entrepreneurial model, but unless you've got the people to actually implement it, it can't really work. So everything starts with the teachers, really, because the teachers are the people who have the day-to-day connect with the students. If the teachers don't get it, if the teachers don't understand how their subject can really be applied, their students can never really understand how that subject can be applied, and it just becomes a paper-chasing exercise. So we've set up something which we call the Pan-African Entrepreneurial Teachers Competition, and every year we kind of scour Africa and for the most entrepreneurial teachers, so we can kind of take these isolated examples and show that, you know, there's always some kind of excuse. And, you know, I would never knock teachers, but I think, you know, teachers have a tough time in many of these countries, and often they sort of, they feel they're not getting the support, or, you know, they don't have the resources. How can you be an entrepreneurial teacher if you don't have resources? But almost this is kind of, you know, what the essence of being an entrepreneurial teacher is. It's working out what you can do when you've got no resources to bring your subject to life and actually make it mean something, so you can get the students to really understand it and start doing it for themselves. And we just keep finding every year fantastic examples of schools where, you know, there's nothing there. The buildings are half falling to pieces. The students are meant to pay fees, but the students don't have any money, so they can't pay any fees. So the teachers get paid several months late. But yet these teachers and the ones who are really entrepreneurial and the ones who care find just creative ways of helping to kind of facilitate learning and facilitate change. So I'm just thinking of one example, kind of a school in Kenya who kind of came out as I think a second prize winner in one of these competitions. This problem of parents not having any money to pay school fees, and regular schools, excluding this kind of system, rely on these kind of fees, was kind of crippling them. So the head teacher kind of came up with this concept of basically teaching the kids about how to raise poultry, giving the kids a chicken or two on the basis that they would give a chicken or two back to the program, and sending that back with their families. So the students acted as sort of intermediaries, basically educators for their own parents, and what they were learning in school were lessons that were being applied back home. So rather in this case than the school itself actually running businesses, it's 120 students, each had 120 businesses going on at their family headquarters, family home, and the money from this was then being used to pay for their school fees, so all the kids were getting an education. I think this is what we're trying to get at with the idea of entrepreneurial teachers. But just because that the teacher who set that up didn't have the resources to actually build a decent school, if she could get her hands just on a few chickens, which is something probably most accessible even in some of the worst areas of the developing world, then you can start doing something that through its own sustainability creates a snowball effect and grows and ultimately benefits a large number of students. So yeah, that's just one example, and I don't know, do you want to...
Just to wrap things up, we are seeing that it is possible to work with extremely poor adolescent girls, less than $2 a day. Does anybody know, that poverty is defined by a poverty line? I think it was actually defined here by the New Deal or something, or the the society. Was it the New Deal or was it Johnson?
It was a New Deal.
The New Deal. So they said this is an income level below which you are officially poor, and you have access to government, and so poverty, and the World Bank has taken up this on, and they have defined poverty, and this is a line of income, okay? And then there is extreme poverty. And how is extreme poverty measured? We hear about it all the time. How is extreme poverty measured by the World Bank and the US government and France and Italy and in dollars? Less than $1 a day. But it has, you know what? You won't believe this. It's measured in calories. 2,500 calories. What happens to a person that is working that does not have this? This equals hunger. Okay? Governments don't like to talk about hunger. Okay? But the truth is that in the pyramid, how many billion people in the world? 6 billion. And how many at the bottom of the pyramid? Good guess. 4. So you have 2 plus 4. That is the situation in the world. Pretty bad, huh? Pretty bad. And how many of these 4 billion are children? Good guess? Good guess?